Lord Blood-Rah keeps the love of vintage horror and science fiction alive with 3 weekly shows. The Wrackin Theater, Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, the podcast featuring the best of old-time radio horror shows, and the Patreon-exclusive series, The Cathode Zone, presenting episodes of classic genre TV shows. You can help spread the love of vintage horror and get access to Lord Blood-Rah's Cathode Zone by signing on at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah.
Gilbert, what are you doing all day in a cave? Oh, I know. You're waiting for the next broadcast of Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Welcome to Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater.
Ah, my lords and ladies, geeks, geekerellas, geekulas, and geekeritas. I am Lord Blood-Rah, and this is Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin' Theater. And tonight is one of those rare nights in the Nerve-Wrackin' Theater where I can bring you a real classic. Tonight's film is based on a famous short story first published in 1924, which went on to influence many movies and countless television series plot lines, from Law & Order SUV to Gilligan's Island. Tonight, from 1932, it's the chilling thriller, The Most Dangerous Game. The Most Dangerous Game stars Joel McCrea as our hero and Leslie Banks as our crazed villain. But you horror geeks out there will surely recognize Fay Wray and Robert Armstrong, and Darrow and Carl Denham, respectively, from the classic 1933 King Kong. In fact, the jungle scenes in tonight's movie were not only shot on the same sets as King Kong, they were shot simultaneously. Look at him go. But now, without further ado, I give to you the epic adventure, The Most Dangerous Game.
Channel's here on the chart, all right. And so are the marking lights.
Then what's wrong with them?
Those lights don't seem to be in just the right place. They're both a bit out of position according to this.
2 light buoys mean a safe channel between the world over.
Safe between the world over doesn't go in these waters. Look here. You'll see the water shoals on the island side, while the deep soundings run to the mainland. Have any of you seen the captain today?
No, he wasn't down for dinner.
No, and he wasn't down for lunch. He hasn't left the bridge since you decided to come through the channel.
What are you driving at?
Ever since you gave him those orders yesterday to cut through these waters, he's had the jitters. There's something wrong. I'm getting nerves myself.
Doc, what do you recommend for nerves?
Give him a shot of scotch.
Good.
Give him the whole bottle.
No, I've got nerves too.
Here you are, Doc.
Just what you need.
Well, maybe you're right. Here's how, boy.
Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, sir. May I speak with you?
Why, certainly. Go ahead.
We're heading straight for the channel between Brank Island and the mainland.
Good.
But the lights are just a bit off, according to the chart.
But charts are never up to date in this part of the Pacific. You know that.
I know, sir, but doesn't Brank Island mean anything to you?
Well, not a lot.
Well, perhaps if I could talk with Mr. Rainsford.
But Bob's not a sailor. He's a hunter.
He's made many of these trips. He's young, but he has judgment. I'll call him. Oh, Bob. Bob.
What is it?
Come up here, will you?
Just a minute. What's bothering you, Captain?
There are no more coral reef, shark-infested waters in the whole world than these.
Boy, just take a look at these. You didn't turn out so hot as a hunter, Doc, but oh, what a photographer. Say, if we'd had you to take pictures on the Sumatran trip, they might have believed my book.
If you'd had me on the Sumatran trip, you'd never had me on this one.
Say, here's the swell one of the ship, Skipper. Well, what's the matter?
These old sea dogs tell yarns to kid each other and end up believing it all themselves.
Well, I think that Mr. Rainsford should know that the channel lights aren't just in the position given on the chart.
Oh. Well, what do you think, fellas?
I think we should turn back and take the outside course.
Oh,
Turn back now.
No. We'll go ahead.
Very well, sir. It's your ship.
It was the schooner Hesperus, and she sailed the wintry sea.
Now, wait a minute, fellas. Let's talk this over. There's no use taking any chances.
Chances? That's fine talk coming from a fellow who just got through slapping tigers in the face. Here, get an eyeful of this. And he talks about taking chances. Here's the Doc charging the enemy with an unloaded camera. Get the expression on Doc's face, Bill. He looks more frightened than the tiger. He is. Just what you have on your mind, Doc.
I'll tell you what I had on my mind. I was thinking of the inconsistency of civilization. The beast of the jungle, killing just for his existence, is called savage. The man, killing just for sport, is called civilized.
Yeah.
It's a bit contradictory, isn't it?
Now, just a minute. What makes you think it isn't just as much sport for the animal as it is for the man? Now, take that fellow right there, for instance. There never was a time when he couldn't have gotten away. But he didn't want to. He got interested in hunting me. He didn't hate me for stalking him, any more than I hated him for trying to charge me. As a matter of fact, we admired each other.
Perhaps. But would you change places with the tiger?
Well, not now.
Here comes that bad luck lady again. Third time tonight.
Here, let me shuffle him.
Wait a minute. Don't evade the issue.
Yeah, come, speak up.
I asked you a question.
Yes.
You did?
Oh, I forgot.
No, you didn't. I asked you if there'd be as much sport in the game if you were the tiger instead of the hunter.
Got you now, Bob. Well, that's something I'll never have to decide.
No?
Listen here, you fellas. This world's divided into 2 kinds of people, the hunter and the hunted. Now, luckily, I'm a hunter. Nothing can ever change that. Hang on a second!
Hello down there. Hello, engine room.
The panel's flooded.
If the water ever hits those hot boilers.
See anybody?
Nobody left but us two and that fella. Ah! Help! Look! Look! Oh! He got me!
Now, just a minute. What makes you think it isn't just as much sport for the animal as it is for the man? Now, take that fellow right there, for instance. There never was a time when he couldn't have gotten away. But he didn't want to. He got interested in hunting me. He didn't hate me for stalking him, any more than I hated him for trying to charge me. As a matter of fact, we admired each other.
Perhaps. But would you change places with the tiger?
You know, that's a good question. Would I change places with the tiger? Well, all things being equal, sure, I guess so. I mean, the hunter has a rifle that could put a hole through a tiger at, what, I guess 500 yards or so? So if I, as the tiger, had a way of accurately shooting my claws and fangs at 500 yards to put a hole through the hunter, while all my tiger buddies just kind of stood around and filmed the whole thing and then we could go out later for a beer, then sure, yeah, I'd change places with the tiger. Otherwise, forget it.
Please leave your eyes at the door. You will not need them.
Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium presents the best of old-time radio, horror, and science fiction. Tales of terror and the uncanny that unfold on the stage of your imagination. Come experience the magic of old-time radio horror. Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium is available on Spotify, Apple, Google, and other podcast providers. Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium, when you seek the darkness.
Larry!
From the exotic geisha houses of Tokyo to the back alleys of the Ginza Strip comes the terrifying news of a fiendish creature that threatens to destroy all who stand in his way. This is the frightening story of an American reporter in Tokyo who unwittingly became the victim of a shocking scientific experiment that turned him into a horrible mutant, half man, half monster, the Manster.
What happened?
He got away.
I think I know where he's going, to Taras. Follow me.
Right. There's panic in the streets as the unheard of terror of a half man, half monster runs wild through the city. There he goes! Don't miss The Manster, a genuine thriller in the most frightening sense of the word.
take two. Everybody, but everybody, is going to our Ghost-a-Go-Go show. Already the spooks are swinging, the witches are winging, the haunts are on the move. The monsters are swaying, the ghosts are saying, come on, get in the groove, and come to our rock and roll Ghost-a-Go-Go show. It's a zany mixture of spooks and music with the beat. You may rock with chills or roll with the combos. But whatever you do, you'll have the time of your young life at our Ghost-a-Go-Go show. It's new, it's different, it's tough.
Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill, where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't.
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
As we return to The Most Dangerous Game, our lucky hunter explores his new secluded home and finds quite a few surprises.
Anybody around, I say? Oh, hello. Is this your house? I'm not trying to break in, but I've been in a wreck. Our yacht just sunk with all hands. I got ashore and found your place here by accident. I'm not trying to intrude, but I'm in sort of a jam. Don't you understand any English?
Ivan does not speak any language. He has the misfortune to be dumb.
Oh, hello. Are you the owner here?
Yes. Welcome to my poor fortress.
Fortress?
It once was, built by the Portuguese centuries ago. I have had the ruins restored to make my home here. I am Count Zaroff.
My name's Robert Rainsford. Glad to meet you. Very glad.
Yeah, Ivan is a Cossack. I'm afraid, like all my fellow countrymen, he is a bit of a savage. Smile, Ivan. Ulitnis!
I was trying to make him understand there'd been a shipwreck in the channel.
Short was me, but how appalling. And you mean to say that you were the only survivor?
Yes. I'm afraid I am.
You're certain?
Well, I'd never left the spot if I hadn't been. The swellest crowd on earth. My best friends. It's incredible.
Such things are always incredible. Death is for others, not for ourselves. That is how most of my other guests have felt.
Your other guests? You mean this has happened before?
My dear fellow, we have several survivors from the last wreck still in the house. It would seem that this island were cursed.
That's just what the captain said. Only he thought it was uninhabited.
We Cossacks find our inspiration in solitude.
Well, it's a break for me anyway.
My house is yours, sir. Oh, by the way, you'll want to change those wet rags immediately.
Yes. They look about the way I feel.
Yes. I have some loose hunting clothes which I keep for my guests that you can possibly get into. Od vidivov krenu komnatu. Ivan will show you to your room.
Thank you.
You will find a stiff drink there also.
Thanks a lot.
Proшу. All pleasure is mine.
Come in.
Ready, Raceford?
All set.
I'm afraid we have finished dinner, but I have ordered something for you.
Thanks. I don't feel like eating.
Oh, dear. Well, perhaps later. Now then, what do you say to coffee and most charming company? It is hard to forget your comrade's fate, I know, but our feminine guest is easily perturbed. If I could beg you to put a good face upon the matter, assume a cheerfulness you may not feel.
Why, sure, of course.
Thank you. Miss Trowbridge, may I present Mr. Robert Rainsford, Miss Eve Trowbridge.
How'd you do?
How do you do?
And her brother, Mr. Martin Trowbridge.
All right, old chap. Pretty well shaken up, I guess, huh?
Coming out of it now, thanks.
We know just how it feels. Don't we?
Indeed we do. Perhaps Mr. Rainsford would like some hot coffee.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Rainsford, please sit here.
Oh, thank you.
Dai gostu coffee vodka.
Vodka, that's the stuff. One shot'll dry you out quicker than all the coffee in Java. Have to toss it off, though, like this.
Now, Martin, you don't have to drink it all tonight, do you?
Don't be ridiculous, sis. We are victims of circumstance, same as Mr. Rainsford. And if anyone has a right to his liquor, it's a victim of circumstance. Isn't that so, Count?
Of course, yes.
You were in the shipwreck, too, I understand.
Yes. Our lifeboat was the only one saved. My brother and I and 2 sailors. The Count found us on the beach with nothing but the clothes on our backs.
Those channel lights must have been shifted. I wonder it hasn't been reported.
Well, we'll report him, just as soon as we get back to the mainland.
You see, the Count has only one launch, and that's under repair.
Russians are not the best mechanics. I'm afraid we'll have to be patient a few days longer.
That's all right with me. I feel as if I were living on borrowed time right now.
Speaking of that, perhaps now you'll tell us a little bit about who you are. Just sketchily, you know. Born, married, why I left my last job.
No. One moment, please. Mr. Rainsford need never explain who he is in my house.
No?
No, we entertain a celebrity, Miss Trowbridge.
Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Let me guess. I know. Flagpole sitter.
Oh, flagpole sitter.
I know. He wrote some books.
No, he lived some books. If I am not mistaken, this is Mr. Robert Rainsford, who hunts big game so adventurously.
Yeah? Yes, to you.
I've lugged the gun around a little.
I've lugged the gun around a little. No, I have read your books. I read all books on hunting. Papirosu?
Thank you.
Only in yours have I found a sane point of view.
What do you mean, sane?
Cigarette?
Yeah, thanks.
You do not excuse what needs no excuse. Now, let me see, how did you put it? Hunting is as much a game as stud poker, only the limits are higher. You have put our case perfectly, Mr. Rainsford.
Well, then you're a hunter yourself.
We are kindred spirits. It is my one passion.
He sleeps all day and hunts all night. And what's more, Rainsford, he'll have you doing the same thing.
We'll have capital sport together, I hope.
Don't encourage him. You know, he's had our 2 sailors so busy chasing around the woods after flora and fauna that we haven't seen him for 3 days.
But what do you hunt here?
I'll tell you. You'll be amused, I know. I have done a rare thing. I have invented a new sensation.
Yeah, and is he stingy with it?
What is this sensation, Count?
Mr. Rainsford, God made some men poets. Some he made kings, some beggars. Me, he made a hunter.
And me, he made a horror host. And as a horror host, I can see some pretty rough times coming up for our hero. I mean, he's trapped in this secluded fortress with this menacing Cossack and his obviously nutty master, along with the survivors of the previous shipwreck, as though shipwrecks are a weekly occurrence on this island. Maybe if Rainsford got a really good running start, he could dive into the ocean and swim back to America. It's worth a shot. Pun not intended.
Like monsters? Like horror? Like sci-fi? You'll love Maniac Monster Designs. Stickers, enamel pins, patches, magnets, tees, pillows. Maniac Monster Designs for everything retro, spooky, and fun. You'll find Maniac Monster Designs on eBay, Facebook, Instagram, and at maniacmonsters.com. Now you can have cool monster designs anytime, anywhere with Maniac Monster Designs.
You will freeze as you watch a warped scientist become transformed into a godless beast when his bloody scalpel probes the forbidden secrets of a woman's flesh. In Atom Age Vampire, you will flame to the stark ritual of a beautiful girl's last searing dance, as tragedy forever mars her loveliness, leaving her to face a world of terror.
I give you my word that I will restore your face, restore all your beauty.
You will cringe as the demented doctor experiments with a girl's trusting innocence. But to possess the living miracle wrought by his twisted genius, he must forever sacrifice his soul to the cunning gods of evil.
I'll transplant directly from another human being.
A mad creature born of the atomic age, now shackled to a world of rotting bodies and violent death. A sadist, a criminal, a depraved animal, more ferocious than Jekyll, more monstrous than Frankenstein, more bloody than Dracula.
Fire a volley through the window pane.
You will gasp as lust and madness stalk the dark and screaming night in Atom Age Vampire.
And now back to The Most Dangerous Game, as Count Zaroff goes on and on about his deep, profound, and rather disturbing obsession with hunting.
My hand was made for the trigger, my father told me. He was a very rich man, with 250,000 acres in the Crimea, and an ardent sportsman. When I was only stirrup high, he gave me my first gun.
Good for him.
My life has been one glorious hunt. It would be impossible for me to tell you how many animals I have killed. But when the revolution flamed up...
Look out.
Victory, stop!
Oh, I'm so sorry. Count Zaroff was so interesting, I didn't realize the danger.
Oh, it's all right now. What were you saying about the revolution, Count?
Oh, merely that I escaped with most of my fortune. Naturally, I continued to hunt all over the world. It was in Africa that the Cape Buffalo gave me this.
That must have been a close call.
Yes, it still bothers me sometimes. However, in 2 months, I was on my way to the Amazon. I'd heard that the jaguars there were unusually cunning. No. No sport at all.
Well, conditions are bad everywhere these days.
One night as I lay in my tent with this head of mine, a terrible thought crept like a snake into my brain. Hunting was beginning to bore me.
Is that such a terrible thought, Count?
It is, my dear lady, when hunting has been the whip for all other passions. When I lost my love of hunting, I lost my love of life. Of love.
Well, you seem to have stood it pretty well.
I even tried to sink myself to the level of the savage. I made myself perfect in the use of the Tartar warbow.
Tartar which?
Tartar warbow. That one up there.
That's cute.
Even to this day, I prefer to hunt with it. But alas, even that was too deadly. What I needed was not a new weapon, but a new animal.
A new animal?
Exactly so.
You found one?
Yes. Here on my island, I hunt the most dangerous game.
The most dangerous game? You mean tigers?
Tigers? No. The tiger has nothing but his claws and his fangs.
I heard some queer beast howling back there along the water. Was that it?
It's no use, Rainsford. He won't tell. He won't even let you see his trophy room till he gets ready to take you on the hunt of the great What's-It.
My one secret. I keep it as a surprise for my guests against the rainy day of boredom.
Listen, old boy, you let me in on that game and I'll bet you I'd go for it. You know, Rainsford, he hasn't failed yet. If he says the thing is good, it is good. He's a judge of liquor, wizard at a contract, plays the piano, anything you want. He's a good host. And a good scholar, eh, Count?
Yes.
You want me to go hunting? All right, you just say the word. We're pals. We'll have a big party, get cockeyed, and go hunting.
A completely civilized point of view.
Now, listen, I'll tell you what you do. You come to my place in the Adirondacks sometime, see? We'll have a private car, liquor and gals on the trip, and the guides will make the deers behave.
I think we'd better change the subject.
All right. Change the subject. Oh, I know. Play the piano, huh?
If you wish.
Good idea. Play the piano. Now leave it to me and I'll fix everything.
Perhaps the Count doesn't want to play.
Now, there you go. It's just strike cold water. Now, leave me alone. I know where the piano is. I'm perfectly sober.
A charming simplicity.
Completely civilized, did you say?
He talks of wine and women as a prelude to the hunt. We barbarians know that it is after the chase and then only that man revels.
It does seem a bit like cocktails before breakfast.
Of course, yes. You know the saying of the Ogandi chieftains. Hunt first the enemy, then the woman.
That's the savage's idea everywhere.
It is the natural instinct. What is woman? Even such a woman as this, until the blood is quickened by the kill.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You Americans. One passion builds upon another. Kill. Then love. When you have known that, you will have known ecstasy.
Oh, Martin.
Introducing Zaroff, the keyboard king, in his Branca Island hour. Come on, Count, now you're shown.
What do you suggest?
Oh, just a good tune, but not highbrow like last night. Just a good tune, see?
I see.
Yeah.
Hunting dogs.
Keep your voice low and listen. It isn't true about the launch needing repairs. I had it leave the boathouse last night. It returned this morning.
You mean he's keeping you from returning to the mainland?
Yes.
Well, perhaps he enjoys the company of two very charming people.
Two, maybe. There were 4 of us a week ago. The other 2 have disappeared.
What do you mean?
One night after dinner, the Count took one of our sailors down to see his trophy. At the foot of those stone steps.
That iron door?
Yes. 2 nights later, he took the other there. Neither has been seen since.
Have you asked him about them?
He says they've gone hunting. Oh, be careful. He's watching us. Will you smile as if I'd said something funny?
Now, look here, you must be mistaken.
Not now. Applaud.
Ah, boy.
Thank you.
What did I tell you? Smack some in ivory, eh, Ransford?
It was splendid. Don't stop, please.
Now, I'm afraid we have failed to hold the full attention of our audience.
Well, I expect it's rather difficult for Mr. Rainsford to concentrate on anything after all he's been through.
Oh, my dear lady, you are pleading for yourself. I can see the drooping of those lovely eyes. Excuse me. Provadeo naver.
You know, the Count's worse than a family governess. Every night he sends us off to bed like naughty children.
Oh, no, my dear. No. Charming children.
There. You hear that, sis? Now trot along upstairs and don't bother us grown-ups anymore.
Well, after that, I guess I'll have to go. Good night, Mr. Rainsford.
Good night. We'll be seeing each other at breakfast.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sis. We won't be seeing each other at breakfast.
Oh, my dear Rainsford, I have been most inconsiderate. You must be feeling the need of sleep, too.
Yes, I am just about all in.
Then Ivan will show you to your room. Oh, do you come, little?
Well, Martin, turn in early, please.
Don't worry. The Count will take care of me, all right.
Indeed I shall.
All the cool things. You want all the cool things. But where can you find all the cool things? It's all right here at Novemberfire.com. All the cool t-shirts, all the cool DVDs, all the cool masks. Be extra cool and tell them Lord Blood-Rah sent you. All the cool things at Novemberfire.com.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen, is the name written in blood. Ega!
If I could just call you on the phone. The code of the ghost has the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road.
Thrill to the newest recording star, R12 Jr.
Oh, they scream in this way.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl.
Noah.
Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. Then lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Egar's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Egar talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Egar.
Hey, you want to drag, huh? Rev it up.
Action you've never seen races across your screen as you thrill to a new dimension in picture making. Carnival of Souls. This is the shocking story of a who crawled from the river to race through a nightmare, walking a tightrope between heaven and hell. From the unreal, she crashes through to reality. But try as she will to lead a normal life, she is torn from her goal. There's no privacy in a life she's ever watched, tormented. Either it's her neighbor, desirous of her physically, watching her with his leering eye, or it's the evil eye of the man who taunts her, the man who wants her. From the bottom of the river they come. They reach for her. They demand that she dance with them at the Carnival of Souls. She is a girl-driven man by the relentless forces of the beyond. He will not relent as he comes for her again and again. She whirls between the real and the unreal, trying to cling to life.
I like being with you, really I do. I don't want to be alone tonight. I want to be near you.
Honey, you don't want to go in there all by yourself, do you?
But she must watch herself in death. She must dance at the Carnival of Souls held just for her. For they have come for her for the last time, claiming her as one of their own. Carnival of Souls arouses such emotion that the management has been forced to state positively no refunds. Carnival of Souls is the shocker of all time, guaranteed to sweep you into a new dimension of picture making. You can't afford to miss Carnival of Souls.
And now back to The Most Dangerous Game, as the vodka-guzzling Martin may get a chance to see Count Zaroff's trophy room and go on a hunt.
Well, good night. Good night, sir. Sleep well.
Oh, well, here's long life.
A long life. Tell me, Mr. Trowbridge, are you also fatigued?
Tired? Me? You know I'm not. You know, Rainsford, we two are just alike. Up all night and sleep all day. Well, good night. Well, what are we going to do, huh? What's the big idea?
I thought that perhaps tonight you would like to see my trophy room.
Your trophy room?
I'm sure you will find it most interesting.
Say, that's a great idea. Oh, now we're pals. No more secrets now, huh? We'll make a night of it.
I hope so, Mr. Trowbridge.
Just you and I, pals. We'll have fun together, huh?
Precisely, yes. Fun together.
Ah, boy, Connie, oh boy, Connie.
Please let me come in. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I'm frightened.
What was it, those dogs?
My brother. I've been listening for hours for him to come upstairs. I've just gone to his room. He isn't there.
Oh, he's probably somewhere with the Count.
That's just what I'm afraid of. Count Zaroff is planning something about my brother and me.
You don't really think anything's happened to your brother?
Oh, I don't know, but we've got to find him. Won't you help me?
Well, of course I'll help you. Where do you think he's gone?
Where did the others go?
The iron door. I'll meet you downstairs in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
That's queer. It's unlocked.
Zaroff, he's coming down.
Back here, quick.
Хорошо. Прямо вниз.
Положи его на скамейку.
Where's my brother?
Trowbridge!
Where's my brother? You killed him. You killed my brother.
Finish! Why you... Возьмите ее наверх. Come, my dear Rainsford. I don't want to treat you like my other guests. You and I, we are hunters.
So that's your most dangerous game.
Yes, my dear fellow, I intended to tell you last night, but you know Miss Trowbridge.
You hunted him like an animal.
I know what you think, but you are wrong. He was sober and fit for sport when I sent him out. An hour or two strapped up in here, brought him to his senses.
You raving maniac.
Yes. I'll take it off. When we finish, the stupid fellow tried to escape through the swamps of Fog Hollow. You see, when I first began stocking my island, many of my guests thought I was joking. So I established this trophy room.
I always bring them here before the hunt. An hour with my trophies, and they usually do their best to keep away from me.
Where do you get these poor devils?
Providence provided my island with dangerous reefs.
But there are light buoys to mark the safe channel.
They do not always mark it.
You shifted them.
Precisely right. Too bad your yacht should have suffered. But at least it brought us together.
You take half-drowned men from ships you've wrecked and drive them out to be hunted.
I give them every consideration. Good food, exercise, everything to get them in splendid shape.
To be shot down in cold blood.
Oh, no. Oh, I admit with this annoying fellow. But usually I give them hunting clothes, a woodsman's knife, and a full day's start. Why, I even wait until midnight to give them a full advantage of the dark. And if one eludes me only till sunrise, he wins the game.
Suppose he refuses to be hunted.
Ivan is such an artist with these. Invariably, Mr. Rainsford, invariably they choose to hunt.
And when they win?
To date, I have not lost. Oh, Rainsford, you'll find this game worth playing. When the next ship arrives, we'll have gorgeous sport together.
You murdering rat, I'm a hunter, not an assassin.
Come, Rainsford, say you will hunt with me.
Hunt men?
Say you'll hunt with me! No?
What do you think I am?
One I fear who dare not follow his own convictions to their logical conclusion. I'm afraid in this instance, Mr. Rainsford, you may have to follow them.
What do you mean?
I shall not wait for the next ship. 4 o'clock. The sun is just rising. Ostekniki to Rushniki. Come, Mr. Rainsford. Let us not waste time. Ivan. Genghis. Your fangs and claws, Mr. Rainsford. Ivan.
Oh, what are they going to do?
I'm going to be hunted.
Oh, no, Miss Trowbridge. Outdoor chess. His brain against mine. His woodcraft against mine. And the prize?
The prize?
You may recall what I said last evening. Only after the kill does man know the true ecstasy of love.
Suppose you lose.
If I do not, what shall I say, find you, between midnight and sunrise tomorrow, freedom for both of you.
I'm going with you.
No. He'll kill you, too.
Not at all. One does not kill a female animal. If you lose, I can easily recapture her alive.
All right. I'll take her with me, then. We'll set him a trail he'll remember.
It's only fair to advise you against Fog Hollow. Outdoor chess, Mr. Rainsford.
This is Lord Blood-Rah. This is a Lord Blood-Rah t-shirt. These are Lord Blood-Rah DVDs. These are Lord Blood-Rah patches, buttons, and enamel pins. And this is where you can get all of these. We now return you to your lives already in progress.
Super Shocker number 1, Dr. Macabre's Frightmare of Movie Monsters. Imagine seeing almost all the screen's scariest monsters alive in person. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Teenage Frankenstein. Daughter of Dracula. The Fly, a man's body, a fly's head. Rodan, the flying monster. The colossal beast. And more, many more, never here before. Plus, Super Shocker number 2, Spooks A-Poppin', a thrilling new idea in spook shows. We double dare you to see this double header of super monstrous, superhuman, super shockers in person on the stage.
Dance, baby, dance, come and dance with me. Hear the beat of the pounding sea. Ride, baby, ride, come and ride with me. Let your feet go easy.
What do you make of this? Where does the other end go? It dumps into the ocean.
It looks exactly like the South American Fantigua fish. I hope you can take one alive, Sheriff.
I still believe that a human clawed that girl to death.
The Beach Girls and the Monster, starring John Hall, Sue Casey, and the glamorous Watusi dancing girls from Hollywood's famed Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub. Music by Frank Sinatra Jr.
You got a monster in the surf.
Chicks, do you have a problem? You won't have after you meet the monster on the beach. If you see this ghoul, play it cool. Beauties in bikinis, laughing, singing, surfing, sinning. Beach party lovers making hey-hey in the moonlight while the monster waits and watches. Yeah. This one will kill you.
As we return to the most dangerous game, Count Zaroff's game of outdoor chess begins. Rainsford becomes the hunted, and Fay Ray can be seen in some very familiar surroundings.
Don't lose your nerve. We'll beat this thing.
The others didn't.
We will. Come on, let's get going.
It seems as though we've come miles.
Yeah. Well, 3 hours doesn't take you far in this jungle. Come on, let's keep going. Come on. Just a little more of this, then easy downhill going. Soon be safe. No wonder he was so sure. This island's no bigger than a deer park.
Oh, Bob!
Come on now.
What are we going to do?
We didn't each live through a shipwreck to let this crazy manhunter worry us.
I shouldn't have come with you. You might beat him if you were alone.
Alone? And leave you here with that savage? Not a chance. Now we've got to think of something to worry him.
Oh, you'd never get near him. He'd shoot on sight.
Weapons aren't everything in the jungle. Say, did you notice that leaning tree down there?
The one we just passed?
Yes. Come on, I want to show you something. You see? If that supporting branch were cut away, this fallen tree would make a perfect melee deadfall.
A melee deadfall? What's that?
A man-killing contraption the natives use. To stop that madman, all right. Trouble is, it takes quite a few hours to build.
He said he wouldn't follow till midnight.
That's right. If you help me, I think we'll have time. Come on, we'll cut some strong vines.
There. Almost ready. This bracelet of yours makes a fine guide ring for my necktie.
He'll have been on his way almost an hour now.
Look out. Don't touch that trip line. You'll have a 2-ton tree down on your back. Jungle wood's as heavy as iron.
Will it really work?
Never known a living thing to get by one yet. Look here. You touch that trip line, you'll pull that trigger free. Once that's loose, there's nothing to keep the log from coming down. It'll crash down and kill anything underneath it.
Look.
We're ready. Let them come.
But surely you don't think that anyone who has hunted leopards would follow you into that ambush? Oh, very well. If you choose to play the leopard, I shall hunt you like a leopard.
Why did he go?
He's playing with us, like a cat with a mouse.
What do you mean?
You heard him say he'd hunt us as he'd hunt a leopard. It means he's gone for his high-powered rifle.
His rifle. Oh, Bob, we must get away from here. Run, quick.
Eve, wait. No, I tell you, no!
Don't stop. No.
Wait. That's Fog Hollow ahead.
Fog Hollow?
The swamp where he caught the others. We haven't a chance of keeping ahead of him there.
But there's no place else to run.
That's just what he's counting on. We've got 2 hours till dawn. We've got to use our brains instead of our legs.
And he'll have his rifle.
And we'll have a man trap. Look.
Oh. This makes me good.
Cover this over. When Mr. Zarrow falls down there, he'll be all through hunting. Quick, gather some leaves and grass. I'll cut some branches.
good, Rainsford. Very good. You have not won yet. Look at your watch. Are you looking at it?
Still half an hour till sunrise.
Swamp or no swamp, we can keep ahead of them that long.
As your doctor's saying, the odds are against me. You have made my rifle useless in the fog. You cannot blame me if I overcome that obstacle.
Fay Ray running through the jungle. Here trying to avoid the mad Count Zaroff rather than the 50-foot-tall eighth wonder of the world, King Kong. In fact, this film is part of a great 2-year run of genre films Ms. Ray had, starting with the sci-fi thriller Dr. X, followed by this film, The Most Dangerous Game, then The Vampire Bat, which we've shown here in the Wrackin Theater, followed by Mystery of the Wax Museum, the film which Vincent Price's House of Wax was a remake of. Then, of course, King Kong. 5 great genre films in just 2 years. Here's to you, Fay Ray. Lord Blood-Rah keeps the love of vintage horror and science fiction alive with 3 weekly shows. The Wrackin Theater, Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, the podcast featuring the best of old-time radio horror shows, and the Patreon-exclusive series, The Cathode Zone, presenting episodes of classic genre TV shows. You can help spread the love of vintage horror and get access to Lord Blood-Rah's Cathode Zone by signing on at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah.
I'll stay with you with my body and my senses until someone comes and destroys my heart.
Barbara Steele, in an original and passionate interpretation of the double role of Muriel and Jenny. One woman with 2 faces, or 2 women with the same face but profoundly different. A fearful doubt, a sinister enigma which becomes an obsessive nightmare. Victim of the sorcery of a merciless and diabolical sadist.
About last night. It wasn't just an hallucination. It was something unreal, mysterious. And when I was in bed, I knew I was with you when I heard the heart.
A film that will take your breath away, that will hold you spellbound.
my corner. Now I know how they felt.
Please leave your eyes at the door. You will not need them.
Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium presents the best of old-time radio, horror, and science fiction. Tales of terror and the uncanny that unfold on the stage of your imagination. Come experience the magic of old-time radio horror. Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium is available on Spotify, Apple, Google, and other podcast providers. Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin Auditorium, when you seek the darkness.
For 2 million years in these subterranean caves, a creature of superhuman evil was entombed in a wall of ice, waiting to be free, waiting to live again. Travel with us on a journey into a world where nightmare becomes reality.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Travel with us, if you dare, on the Horror Express.
Search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
The malignant power of this creature is indestructible, transferring its force from mind to mind, from body to body.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
The animal that you shot was only the host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You saw his eyes! One look at them and you're dead!
Anything that moves near that door, kill it!
Run. Run for your life. Hide, but you can't escape. No one can stop the fury and the terror of the Horror Express.
Late at night and seen a coffin open?
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated?
Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them.
See all this and more when you see on stage, in person,
that crazy mixed up Dr. Evil and his terrors of the unknown.
Unlike anything that you ever seen or heard of in the past.
Hideous creatures from beyond the grave. Leave the stage and grab girls right out of their seats.
Girls, do not come alone. Bring your boyfriend to protect you when the lights go out.
You may find a live snake or rat under your seat.
A real dead body is given away to some lucky person at every performance.
Also, in person,
The Mummy and King Kong, famous Hollywood gorilla, real and alive.
Plus, on the screen, 2 horrific motion pictures.
Dr. Evil and his terrors of the unknown.
Plus, 2 horrific pictures.
It is safe to state that the grandchildren of some of the people in this theater will not be born on Earth. They come from the bowels of hell, a transformed race of walking dead, zombies guided by a master plan for complete domination of the Earth. Plan 9 from outer space. Starring the most nightmarish cast ever, Bela Lugosi, the seductive Vampira, and Tor Johnson as the Walking Dead.
Turn off your electrode gun! No! No! Stop him, Dennis!
I can't get it, it's jammed!
Stop him, you fool!
Bullets bounce off their bodies. Rockets, missiles, jets cannot stop their death ships. What earthly power can stop this terror? For a glimpse of things to come, see this blast of screen suspense. For it could be happening right now.
And now, on to the exciting conclusion of The Most Dangerous Game. And then, after that, a special surprise. Is Rainsford dead? Is Count Zaroff victorious? And what of the lovely Fay Ray? Let's find out.
Ahmed,
Miss Trowbridge, bring her here. Now. My dear Rainsford, I congratulate you. You have beaten me.
Not yet.
Oh, but of course I insist. Why, you're not even wounded.
You hit the dog, not me. I took a chance and went over with him.
A clever trick, Rainsford. I cheerfully admit defeat. Here's the key of the boathouse. The door is in the trophy room. You and Miss Trowbridge may leave at once. No!
A great movie from a classic story. And one more point of interest about this movie. Ivan, Count Zarov's silent and faithful Russian servant, whom we saw impaled earlier, was played by African-American actor Noble Johnson, best known to horror fans as the native chief in King Kong and the Nubian servant in the classic 1932 The Mummy, starring Boris Karloff. In tonight's film, he played Ivan, a Russian. One of the few, if not only, examples in early film history of a black actor playing a white role. We'll be right back.
Have you ever been kissed by a woman like this? This is the story of an adventure so fantastic and horrible as to make a man of science doubt his senses. See the dance of destruction as Tarantula entices men to a strange fate. Lost women, lost because they were born without human souls. Children of abominable deviltry and twisted science, unleashed by insanity.
He has human beauty and intelligence, still possesses the capacities and instincts of the giant spider.
Who could have shot him?
Nobody shot him. Look, these are not bullet wounds.
What could have killed him?
I don't know. I hope we won't have to find out.
Aren't you afraid, Grant?
I'm scared stiff.
If you're frightened, what do you call him?
I'm getting out of here. The terror of mortal man, paralyzed with fear, bereft of reason, facing the horror of the giant hexapod.
This engine's still warm.
Say, did you see the skid marks out here? They go at a direct right angle to the direction of travel.
No digs in the macadam either. Somebody was hurt. There's blood all over this thing.
What is this black menace that kills everything it sees and hears? No human mind could imagine the enormous destructive power of this maddened, killing thing. If you're young people in love, look out. If you're driving a lonely road, you're as good as dead.
There's been a lot of livestock missing lately. That doesn't make headlines, but now it's people.
Never in the history of the United States, a monster of such size and power and horrifying hatred of man.
Well, my lords and ladies, as always here in the Nerve-Wrackin Theater, a short film for me means a big surprise for you. And in continuing our theme of weapons, marksmanship, and hunting, we present an adventure with that old history hunter himself, Captain Zero. In tonight's adventure, Captain Zero meets one of the greatest marksmen in history, Switzerland's own William Tell. And I thought it was just all a story too about shooting the apple off his kid's head and stuff like that, but Apparently it's true. Ha ha! My lords and ladies, here is Captain Zero meets William Tell.
Captain Zero. Captain Zero. Research explorer in time and space. Somewhere in a remote, uncharted region of the planet called Earth stands the laboratory of Captain Zero. In this secret location, known only to a few in the outside world, Captain Zero and his associates experiment in time and space to learn from the past, to plan for the future.
Man, you sure come a long way since the bow and arrow.
Yes, but the bow and arrow is still a pretty effective weapon, Jet. Has been for centuries. In fact, a really skilled bowman can be almost as accurate with his arrows as we can be with our ray guns. Remember the story of William Tell shooting the apple off his son's head?
Yes, but I don't believe it.
You mean you don't think William Tell really lived?
No. Do you?
Suppose we activate the time machine and find out.
Okay. What's it say?
Well, if I remember the legend correctly, William Tell supposedly lived in the village of Berglund, near the town of Altdorf, high in the Swiss Alps. Let's see, Berglund. B-U-R-B-U. Here it is. Okay, set the longitude and the latitude.
Yes, sir.
Longitude, 8 degrees, 39 minutes, 10 seconds east.
8 degrees, 39 minutes, 10 seconds east.
Latitude, 46 degrees, 51 minutes, 30 seconds north.
46 degrees, 51 minutes, 30 seconds north.
Right. Now, set the year for 1307.
1307.
November the 18th,
November the 18th,
about 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Set the voltage at 8.4 and stand by to activate the cycle reactor. Petro.
Yes, sir.
Stand by for operation of the time machine.
Yes, sir. Where to this time, Captain?
We're going to try to pick up William Tell back in the year 1307.
Father, someday I too am going to be the greatest bowman in Switzerland, just as thou art.
I'm sure thou wilt, Heinrich. If there is still a Switzerland.
There's still a... What dost thou mean, Father?
Thou art yet a little boy, Heinrich. But if something should happen to me, thou shouldst know why.
But what could happen to thee, Father?
These are evil times, my son. The ancient rights and freedoms of the Swiss are being taken away by the Austrian Emperor and his cruel governors. Already foreign soldiers fill the land, and they take away our crops and cattle for taxes. The Swiss have always been free men, but now the Austrian rulers would make slaves of us.
But is there nothing we can do? Can we not resist?
Thou hast courage, my son. I am proud of thee. Aye, we can resist, and we shall. Now, no more of this. Off to bed with thee.
Yes, Father.
All right, Henry. Open the door.
Yes, Father.
Tell. Heinrich?
Walter. What news?
Some good, some bad.
Hang up thy cloak, Walter. Heinrich, off to bed with thee now.
But, Father, can I not stay and listen?
No, 'tis past thy bedtime.
Yes, Father. Art thou still taking me to Altdorf tomorrow?
Aye, we go to Altdorf tomorrow.
Thank thee, Father, and do not worry about the soldiers. We can handle them. Good night, Father.
Good night, my son.
Good night, Mr. Hurst.
Good night, Heinrich. A brave lad.
Aye. Sit down, Walter. what of thy news?
Tonight I met in secret with 31 others on the shore of Lake Lucerne. They all feel as we do, Tell. They swore to devote their life to free Switzerland from the tyranny of Austria.
Good. We have made a start.
Aye, but I know not how 33 men can defeat the arms of Austria.
Whoever heard of a good Swiss caring about the number of the enemy? Can we stand tamely by and be trampled underfoot? Never. If we are to pass on to our children the freedom that was handed down to us, we must fight. And this new Swiss Federation is only the beginning.
Aye, but it could also be the end.
What dost thou mean?
Governor Gessler has devised a test to discover all those who would oppose his rule.
A test? What kind of test?
After the meeting tonight, I came here by way of outdoor.
Aye.
In the center of the town square, there is now a pole with a cap of Herr Gessler's on top. The governor has commanded that all men who pass must bow to it or suffer the penalty of death.
So, he would make slaves of us. Pay homage to an empty bonnet.
Tell, do not go to Altdorf tomorrow. It will do no good.
I have promised Heinrich I will take him to Altdorf, Walter. And I shall go there like any honest man. No empty cap is going to frighten me from the city.
Then I pray thee, do not pass the pole with a cap.
I shall go where my business directs me, Walter. And I shall bow before no man's empty bonnet.
Carmen, I didn't know William Tell was involved in the Swiss Revolution.
Stand by to move the time machine ahead one day. Let's find out what happens in the village of Altdorf.
Yes, sir.
Reset the location to Altdorf and set the time to high noon. Stand by to activate the cycle reactor. Ready? Switch on. Steady. Hold it. Cut the cycle reactor. Stand by to activate the view screen.
Carl, do you suppose Tell will bow before the governor's bonnet?
I don't know, Jet, but we'll soon find out. Bring up the plate current. Increase the gain on the horizontal axis. Check the carrier frequency. And there's the bonnet on the pole. You there. Homage to the governor's cap.
Father, look! There's the governor's bonnet.
Pay no heed, Heinrich. We go our own way.
You there. Homage to the governor's cap. Oh, God, stop those two. What's the matter with you? Would you incur the death penalty?
Have I done something unlawful?
You have insulted the emperor and our Lord the Governor by passing that cap without bowing to it.
Does an empty cap command any more respect than a cloak, or a doublet, or a pair of hose?
Insolent dog. Do you mock the emblem of royalty?
I dare to live as a free man.
Why, you...
No!
All... My lord, what is the trouble here? This man refuses to bow to thy royal bonnet.
So, another caught in my trap, eh? What is thy name?
Wilhelm Tell.
The best bowman in all Switzerland.
Quiet, Heinrich.
Is this thy son?
Aye. My firstborn.
I have heard of thee, Tell, and of thy skill with the crossbow. And although thy life is already forfeit because thou didst refuse to bow to the cap, I have inclined to be merciful. If thou canst hit the target which I set up, thy life will be spared.
Show me the target.
Guard, lead the boy to yon tree and place an apple on his head.
No! Surely thou dost jest.
I never jest, William Tell. Unless thou dost shoot the apple from thy son's head, thou dost die.
Thou tyrant. Dost thou think I would risk the life of my son to save my own?
Thou wilt take thy chances, Tell, or die.
Then I die.
No, Father, no!
Thou wilt shoot at the apple, William Tell, or see thy son slain before thine own execution. Guard, lead the boy to yon tree and place the apple.
That's all right, Father. I will stand very still. Thou wilt not miss.
Now we shall have sport indeed.
Assume the position and open your minds wide. It's time for your cranial cavity search. Ah, yes, my lords and ladies, the cranial cavity search. Here's a chance for you great geeks out there to prove your geek cred by showing what you know. And tonight's cranial cavity search question is, in the 1962 kaiju classic King Kong vs. Godzilla, what island is King Kong from? A. Kaiju Island. B. Skull Island. C. Faro Island. Or D. Nakajima Island. Which island is the Japanese King Kong from? And which of these commercials will make you shout, Koma, Shadow de Ju, Boon? Lord Blood-Rah keeps the love of vintage horror and science fiction alive with 3 weekly shows. The Wrackin Theater, Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, the podcast featuring the best of old-time radio horror shows, and the Patreon-exclusive series, The Cathode Zone, presenting episodes of classic genre TV shows. You can help spread the love of vintage horror and get access to Lord Blood-Rah's Cathode Zone by signing on at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah. And the answer to tonight's cranial cavity search question. In King Kong vs. Godzilla, which island is King Kong from? It was C. Faro Island. In the 1933 classic King Kong, Kong is, of course, from Skull Island. But in the 1962 film King Kong vs. Godzilla, he is from Faro Island. And you know, whatever island King Kong is found on, we just can't seem to leave the poor guy alone, you know? Anyway, on to the conclusion of Captain Zero meets William Tell, as we are about to witness the historic moment that made William Tell a legend. And we will also see what came after.
Come, Tell. Notch thy arrow and have done with it.
Thank heaven the shaft sped through. Run home to thy mother quickly, Heinrich, quickly.
Disperse. Go thy ways. Disperse, I say. Well, thy lucky shot didst hit the apple. But why didst thou take 2 arrows from thy quiver? And for what purpose didst thou place the second arrow in thy belt?
This arrow was to avenge the death of my son, if I had killed him with the other.
Avenge? How avenge?
Thou didst force me to shoot the apple from my son's head, Herr Gessler, because I would not bow down before thy empty bonnet on yon pole. If I had slain my son, this arrow would have found its mark in thy cruel heart.
Why, how dare thee? Guard!
Arrest this man.
Thou didst promise to spare my life.
And so I shall. But thou wilt spend it in chains. Take this rebel to the jailhouse.
Aye, my lord. Move you.
And seek out his friends and all like him.
Aye, my lord.
My cap on this pole has done well today. These Swiss peasants will learn that my word is law. They will obey my commands or suffer the consequences. William Tell, the great archer. His bow and his arrows will have little use for him when I have finished with him.
William Tell really lived all right, Captain. I'm convinced.
It doesn't look as though he's going to live very long yet. Refocus to the jailhouse. I want to find out what that Herr Gessler is up to.
Yes, sir.
Bring up the beam focus. Increase target voltage. There he is.
My people will never bow to thee, Herr Gessler, or thy king or thy bonnet. We are free men and will never be slaves to a foreign crown.
Cease thy prattle, William Tell. The Emperor of Austria will have these lands, and I will govern them. There is nothing that thee and thy fellow farmers and goat herders can do to stop us.
No. Already they are banding together to drive thee and thy soldiers out of Switzerland.
I suspected as much. But without thee as their leader, they will scatter like sheep, and I will dispose of them one by one.
Unless they dispose of thee first.
Thou dost prattle like a fool. My soldiers outnumber thy band 100 to 1.
They do not fear. One Swiss is quite equal to 100 Austrians.
Not without thee as their leader.
They will find a way to rescue me.
Not if thou art not here.
What dost thou mean?
Thou art a menace to me, William Tell. Thee and thy loose talk of equal rights and freedom. When my men return, I will have them remove thee to the dungeon in the castle of Kuznacht. Thee and thy fatal bow will never more see the light of day.
Thou tyrant! If I could reach thy throat!
Down, peasant, if thou wilt wear thy head a while longer. My patience is sore pressed.
Thou wilt regret this day, Herr Gessler. My people will avenge thy cruelty.
Thy people? The swine. They will bow to the will of Gerhard Gessler, or this land will run red with their blood. Thou beast. Silence thy tongue, William Tell, or I will silence it for thee.
Yes.
Yes, sir?
Stand by to activate the materialization chamber. I'm afraid William Tell is going to need help. Get me the pararay gun. Good. Stand by. Okay, Jet. Throw the switch.
Good luck, Captain. Spectral wave clearances opening. Turbo activity is increasing. Voltage is building up. Spark gaps are closing. He's transforming to electrical impulses and beginning to dematerialize. There he goes. He's gone. God, I hope he got there in time. There's Gessler and Tell, but where's Captain Zero?
Thou art a brave man, Herr Gessler, when thy opponent is bound hand and foot.
I've had enough of thy insolence, Tell. Thou wilt not be so stubborn when I have finished with thee.
Just a minute, Herr Gessler.
Who art thou? Where didst thou come from?
Release this man.
Who art thou to tell me what to do?
Release him, I said.
Thy strange clothing doth not frighten me.
Pararay's a success, all right. He's completely paralyzed. Where does Herr Gessler keep the keys to your chain?
What, thou? What hast thou done to Gessler? What witchcraft is this? Why does he not move?
Look, there's no time for explanations. Gessler's men will return any minute. The effects of the ray gun will wear off. Now, where does Gessler keep the keys to your chain?
Keys? Yes, on the wall there.
There, your hands are free.
Thank thee, stranger. to Herr Gessler.
He'll be all right. He's locked, arrested.
Gessler!
Now, thou demon, a hole through thy middle will put an end to thy tricks.
Well done, stranger. Well done.
You're not safe yet, Tell. Gessler's men will soon return. There. Now look, you've got to get away from here fast. Go out the back way and get to the mountains at once.
Aye, and thank you, stranger. I know not who thou art, but I am most grateful.
Get going.
Aye, but what of thee? Art thou not joining my band to help free Switzerland of these tyrants?
No, you have no further need of me, William Tell. You and your countrymen will free Switzerland yourselves.
Would that I could be certain.
You can, William Tell. You can. Now get away from here, fast.
Farewell, stranger.
Good luck, Tell. All right, Jet. Take me back.
He's transforming from electrical impulses and beginning to materialize. He's coming in. He's in.
Good work, Jet. Did Tell get away all right?
I don't know. I guess so. No, he's still there.
What's the matter with him? Gessler's men will be there any minute.
Before I leave thee, Herr Gessler, there's one thing I must do.
No, Tell, no. Have mercy.
Force me to shoot an apple off my son's head, wilt thou?
No, Tell, I beg you, have mercy.
It now show me mercy. Stand steady, Herr Gessler.
No, Tell.
Steady, thou coward.
Mercy. No, Tell.
Man, he got out of there just in time. Do you suppose the soldiers will catch him?
No, they didn't catch him, Jet. Tell got back to his men, all right. And together they united the Swiss people and freed their country from the Austrian rulers. In the year 1308, Switzerland became the first free state in the world.
How come there are so few recorded facts of Tell's existence?
Well, in those days, there were few written records, Jet. But the fact that he lives in the hearts of his people is enough. Today, William Tell is still a symbol of the Swiss love of liberty. Hi, boys and girls. Greetings, fellow Z-men. I want to tell you how you can become a commissioned officer of the Zero Explorers in time and space and receive an official space passport and identification card. This passport entitles you to travel in accredited spaceships to any planet in our solar system. It also contains my official signature and photograph, as well as regulations for space travel and procedure for rocket ship blastoffs. Just send your name and address to me, Captain Zero, in care of this station. Your letter will be forwarded to my laboratory by guided missile, and I will immediately send you your official space passport and identification card. So, till we meet again, fellow Z-men, good luck in time and space.
Be sure to be standing by when we again transmit you to this remote location on the planet Earth, where Captain Zero and his associates will conduct another experiment in time and space.
You know, I don't want to tell Captain Zero his business. You know, I mean, he is the explorer in time and space and all that, but do you think he should have interfered there? I mean, isn't there some rule about changing the past to affect the future and all that? Well, I guess he knows what he's doing. Well, my lords and ladies, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to invite you all back again next week when we'll do whatever this is all over again. As always, I am Lord Blood-Rah saying, geek out.